Teddy B.
Take it. Baraka za baba. Yendo number uno, Yesu number uno. Yeah. Number uno, yendo number uno. Si chocha. What is working in my life?
Praise the Lord. My name is Pastor Tim Mwangi, and once again we are here for the Angaza show. Today we'll be going through an amazing testimony. There has been so many people arrested and some even are still in jail, but when you dig the root cause, you realize that they were innocent. The law says that you are innocent until proven guilty. It's a journey sometimes that is very difficult to go through. Some people are still inside, but nobody can hear their plea and nobody can hear their cry. And most of the times when we are outside of the jail, there's always a perception, huyu alikuwa amefungwa, huyu ni mfungwa. And integrating back in the society, living your life normally, and knowing that you are innocent, and many people don't even know your story, is one of the most heartbreaking things. And I want to look at how can you walk out of this, forgive, and above all, what does it mean, even psychologically, to go through something that you literally know you didn't do it, but the whole society thinks you are part of it. We'll be going through this testimony. This is something you cannot afford to miss. Let's meet immediately after the musical break by DJ Annie. So welcome back and thank you very much. So leo ni siku ya ushuhuda, siku ya testimony, and in the studio we have an amazing man. I don't want to share his story because yeye ndio ako na hii ushuhuda na hii hadithi. Bwana asifiwe sana.
Amen.
Let's begin. Majina ni nani?
Mimi naitwa Dominic Mayeka Bogongo. Ni mwinjilisti.
Okay.
Katika kanisa la Kristo Church of Christ in Kenya. Ninahudumu kule Kayole 1.
Kayole 1.
Yes.
Dominic, pale hivi kwa umeishi hapo.
Initially nilikuwa nakaa Laksama.
Okay.
That's in Babadogo.
Okay.
But before I went to prison, but after prison, that's when I relocated to a new place because I had not find somebody to locate me back to Laksama. So I had to get a friend who took me to Kayole, and that's where I'm residing currently.
Kwa hivyo wacha sasa tuanzie. Ni nini litendeka ili wewe mwenyewe ujipate ukiwa jela?
Litendeka ni kwamba nilikuwa kazini. Nilikuwa nafanya kazi kwa one of the companies as a yard marshal or yard controller.
Yard marshal, hiyo ni pale ambapo unaweka
mahali magari zinapakiwa.
Okay.
Controlling the vehicles within the yard. And for you to work there, you must be a driver because you are controlling vehicles. When the driver is not there, you have the capability of moving a vehicle from the yard to the place where it's supposed to be parked.
Okay.
So what happened is that I remember it was on December 8, 2020. That's when I was in a night shift. Okay. And I entered to work as normal, and I worked for the whole night. But for all the work I did, I found that there is one vehicle among the many vehicles that I had to move from one place to another. There is one vehicle that I moved outside the parking yard. We have two parkings, inner parking and outer parking. So there is that vehicle that I moved. There were around 5 vehicles, but one got missing at the outer parking yard. Ilipotea.
Okay.
Ya nilitoa nje na magari zingine tu nikawekea madereva hapo.
Okay.
The rule was ukinipea gari yako nikutolee ndani ya kampuni, nikuwekea nje, you have to pay me something because you were not there when I was moving your vehicle. And you have to tell me where the key is. Where can I keep the key for you so that when you come, even if you don't find me, you just go direct to the vehicle key and you go to the distribution.
Gari ilikuwa na mizigo, wewe ukaibeba, ukaiweka nje.
Yes. Nikaiweka nje. Na gari zingine tu several vehicles. Na si mimi peke yangu nilikuwa. We were around 6 yard marshals who are working within the yard.
Okay.
And now I parked them outside, outer yard. Then in the morning, I went to my home, to my place of stay in Laksama. And at around 10, I received a phone call. And I was told you are required at the company. I went to the company, but unfortunately, I thought I was I was called for a good thing, but I found that I'm asked, where is the vehicle registration number so-and-so? And I said, I went through my record and I said, I parked it outside the parking yard, and I called the driver. I told him, I parked the vehicle outside, I put the key where you told me I'm supposed to keep the key for you. So I expect you to come and pick the key, go to the market. And the driver was there saying, I haven't received the key. I've not seen the key, I've not seen the vehicle. I came in the morning around 7 in the morning. I didn't find the vehicle. I've moved around the yard, going to the inner yard. There is no vehicle, so we have decided to call you to tell us where the vehicle is. And we were told to go to Kasarani police station to write a statement. And going there, I wrote a statement the way I've explained here. And I was told, you are the number 1 suspect. Go in. So the driver, when he heard that we are going to Kasarani to write a statement, he remained behind. So I was taken by the security manager of the company to go and write a statement. They told me, you are number 1 suspect. And the police, the police officers asked, and where is the driver who was supposed to go to the market? They said he has been delayed a little bit. He's nowhere to be seen. A short period of time passed, and the driver came and wrote a statement. They told him, if you do not find the vehicle, you go. The last person who handled the vehicle with the gate passes is Dominic. And I was taken to prison.
Ulipitia kotini?
Nilipitia kotini. So nilipofika kule, nikatolewa viatu, nikalala kwa cell. It was my first day to enter the police cell. I've never been in a police cell. From there, I moved out. I was taken to Kotini, Makadara, Low Court. Then from there, nilienda tu nikaambiwa umepatikana na shtaka, umeshtakiwa na shtaka la kuiba, stealing by servant. Umeiba mali ya kampuni ambayo unafanya kazi, you are not untrustworthy. Unakubali, unakataa. Of course, no person will say ninakubali what you don't know. From there, I was given a bond of 1 million. And was told, if you cannot pay bond of 1 million, you are going to remand. And I was remanded in that area.
So wacha niulize kabla tuingia hata kwa remand. Hii ni lori, najua hii ni lori kubwa.
Yes.
Huko hakuna CCTV, hakuna kitu yote ambayo ingeonyesha hii gari labda ilifika na ikachukuliwa na mtu tofauti.
That's what I asked in the court. CCTV zote, there is no CCTV record which was brought. But the company is secured with CCTV everywhere. Every corner there is CCTV. But it was nowhere. That's the question I asked in the court. Where is the CCTV? There was no CCTV.
Haukuwa na wakili wewe?
Mimi sikuwa na wakili. I was unable to pay. Yeah, I was unable to pay the
hata wakili wa serikali?
Hakuna.
Kwa hivyo umeingia Makadara?
Nilifanya kesi peke yangu. So nikaingia Makadara, nikasomewa, nikapelekwa kwa remand. Remand, I stayed 1 full year without proceeding with the case. During the corona period, 2020, 2021, court session were not proceeding. So I had to remain in remand 1 year without knowing the date of going to court, without knowing anything. The only thing I know is I have 1 million bond, which I was unable to pay. And I was charged to have stolen a vehicle plus the products worth 5 million.
Wow.
So I was told that product is too much, you have to pay the bond of 1 million. And now I went to prison, my first day to enter there. And now huko watu wanaitwa wote ni wezi, wewe ni mwizi wa nini? So I stayed there. I hated myself because I was initially a preacher. I was ministering. I had graduated from the Bible College with a degree in theology. So I was ministering and doing my job. So I hated myself. I even hated God for allowing me to come innocently to prison. And after staying for that, around 3 months in prison, a call came to me. God spoke to me and told me, you need to minister. I brought you here to minister.
Okay.
So,
na wakati uko ndani remand pale industrial area, familia, marafiki, jamii, hakuna mtu alikuja kuona?
During corona period, even my wife was told she will not be able to see me.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a wife and a 5-month kid and a 3 years kid and another one 5 months old. So she was left, she was jobless. So she had to move from my my area of residing to home, to my reserve area. So yeye akaenda nyumbani, nikabaki sasa sina mtu wa kunitembelea Nairobi. And during that time there was no feasting until when I went to court on 2021 on November. So I've stayed around 1 year. That's when I went to court to proceed. Upon reaching the court, still the people from the company did not appear. So I was given a mention and another hearing date on 2022. So that's when they wrote a letter from the court and they told the officer in Kasarani Police Station, who is the investigation officer, to bring the witness to come and testify before the court. So on March 2022 is when the case began, and they came with a company lawyer. They began doing the case. They mentioned all what happened during that time and how I'm involved in. And I had to ask them so many questions concerning the evidences that they were producing. One evidence they produced is the gate pass. The gate pass is written my name. And I said, yes, the gate pass is written my name.
Because you work there?
Because I work there. And I worked with the vehicles, I cannot deny. So from there, I asked for the CCTV cameras to monitor the vehicle from the outer yard to where it went, I don't know. They said the CCTV cameras have been altered with, so they were unable to produce the CCTV footage. And the case proceeded. I had 8 witnesses, including the supervisors of the company, including the gate security officers, and the company manager himself. And from there, on July, that's when the case ended. I went to judgment. But before judgment, I was given time to explain now, to defend myself against the case that is before me. And after explaining myself, after defending myself and saying exactly what happened during that night of work, the judge on the 14th of July 2023 found me not guilty of the offense.
So before we come to the ruling, umeingia pale industrial area.
Yeah.
Na sauti ya Bwana imekuambia nimekuleta hapa ili ufanye kazi yangu.
Yes.
Na tayari ulikuwa umeanza kukua very bitter with God, which is normal.
Yeah.
How was life in the industrial area?
Life was so hard because even the dirt itself is the dirt you're not used to with. And it was really hectic for me to cope with the life in prison because there you are with several people with different offenders with different offenses. So you feel yourself like, what am I doing here? And that's when God called me and told me, I brought you through a dream. You need to work. Because I was even hiding myself, sleeping throughout the day, sleeping from morning to evening, the whole night sleeping, not moving to anywhere.
Pale watu watoleangu ndani, si ikifika ni kutoka kila mtu anatoka.
Ikifika ni kutoka, no. Ikifika watu wanatoka, you can get out or continue sleeping. In remand, there is no work.
Oh, okay.
There is no going to work.
Okay.
You wake up, you are counted, the number which slept is the same number. You go for breakfast, of course it is porridge. And then you come back to the room. The time comes when you need to go to break to get sunshine. It is optional. You can go or remain in until evening. So I was there crying, trying to look for the way I can kill myself even. But God called me and comforted me through the pastors who were working there. One senior pastor I know called Pastor Meshach, and Reverend Kragori, who is a chaplain in church. They came and said, there is a guy who is stressed so much, we need to do counseling for him. When they came and asked me who I am, I told them I'm a preacher. But the way I'm here, I don't understand. I feel like I'm rejected by the whole world. So that's when they prayed for me and told me, come on board. Just if you come to the church always and you'll forget yourself. You'll forget the problems and remember it is God's purpose, that's why you're here. That's when I went to the church. There is a church that happens every day. It's a worship day for those who are in remand.
Main remand. That is in industry area.
in industry area.
So I want us, after the break, we'll now look at how the ruling happened and you coming back to the society.
Yeah.
Na pale ambapo uko sasa hivi. Well, thank you very much for those who are watching. These are very touching story. And I hope that your spirits are being lifted and you're being inspired. Pastor Tim Mwangi is the name. So see you immediately after the musical break. So welcome back and thank you very much wale ambao wanatutazama sasa hivi ama ambao wametujoin sasa hivi. We are here with an amazing testimony. A man that was convicted illegally ended up in the remands of industry area, and the voice of God comes and he has to begin the work. And at the end of the day, the ruling was done in his favor, and we just want to know. So sauti ya Bwana imekuja kwa remand. Na kuna ibada huko kila siku.
Huko kuna ibada kila siku. So nikajiunga na kanisa. Nikamwambia I'm a president worship.
Okay.
That's what I can do. And I began singing and leading the service in singing. And by so doing, the one who was a senior pastor, also in a remand, but also was arrested before me, he told me, I see something beyond.
Kulikuwa na senior pastor ambaye ni mfungwa.
Yeah, alikuwa ni remand.
Okay.
Alikuwa senior pastor.
Na yeye amefungwa pia.
Naye pia alikuwa.
Yeye makosa yake ilikuwa nini?
Makosa yake ilikuwa defilement.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeye ndiye alikuwa senior pastor.
Lakini yake haikuwa kuwekelewa.
Ilikuwa kuwekelewa. Ilikuwa kuwekelewa kwa sababu pia yeye alitoka before me.
Okay.
Alishinda kesi na akatoka.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So akaniita akaniambia, beyond singing, I see something. I want you to preach one day. I told him, why do you want me to preach? Nikamwambia mimi wacha tu niendelee kuimba. Because I never even wanted to preach. Akaniambia, no, God is disturbing me. I want you to preach on Sunday. Kamwambia, it's okay, you have seen me, I can be able to do it. Let me do. I went and prayed and God gave me a message from Ezekiel 38. I remember that's the message I preached on 2022. It was around August. That's the message God gave me.
Okay.
And I preached about the dry bones. Nikahubiri, and through that preaching that Sunday, 20 people gave their life to Christ.
Wow.
20 remandees who have come. And from there, I never knew it was the last day for him to hear me speak and appear. He was heading to judgment. So when he went for judgment, that very week after preaching on Sunday, he went for judgment. He was given 1 week. He was told the case is not ready, just to come next time and you will be able we will be able to mention your judgment or to read your judgment. So he stayed for 1 week, and he told me, I have been praying for somebody that I will leave to do this work, and I feel that it is you that I will leave you doing this work of preaching. Nataka nikuache hapa uendelee kwa sababu mimi nasikia Mungu ananiita niende kufanya kazi nje. Kamwambia, what do you mean pastor? Akaniambia, that's what I feel. Mimi ninaenda kuachiliwa. Mungu ameniambia sifungwi kwa sababu niliwekelewa makosa. Ninaenda lakini wewe ndio nitaacha ukiwa mchungaji mkuu hapa kwa hili kanisa. Si kwa president worship room umekuwa ukifanya kazi. Then nikamwambia, hiyo ni kazi ngumu unanipa, lakini nitafanya. That's what I told. Ni kazi ngumu lakini nitafanya because I'm not used with this. Nitafanya. Then he called the chaplains and told him, in case I'm released or I'm convicted, because in the Australia, ukikuwa convicted, you are moved to another prison. It is a remand and allocation of prison. So they allocate you to another place. Okay. If I'm convicted and allocated to another prison, please let Dominic be the senior pastor of the place. Okay. And upon that day, when he went, it was on a Thursday, he went and he was arrested. He was found not guilty, and he was arrested. So the chaplain came and told me, you know, we need to anoint you to be the senior pastor. I said I cannot be able to do that. So there was an assistant senior pastor who was assisting the previous pastor who has been arrested. He also had the case of murder. So he was given that title senior pastor, and I was his assistant. Okay. I said then I can work under somebody because this work you are giving me with these people, I don't think I can be able to work. And I became assistant senior pastor, and I became a senior pastor called Pastor Rono.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we worked with him for 2 months.
Okay.
And he was released.
He was also released.
He was also released.
Pia yeye yake ilikuwa ni kesi ya kuwekelewa.
Yake ilikuwa ni kesi ya mada na amefanya. So yeye si alikuwa released, yeye alilipa bond.
Okay.
Na akatoka. Watu wake walikuwa wamemwacha for 5 years. But upon me being appointed as assistant, somebody came from his home and said, from US, and said I will pay the bond for him. And they went, bought a vehicle, wrote the name of his wife, and the vehicle came and stood for him, and they went home.
Alirudi nyumbani, lakini sasa huyo kesi bado inaendelea.
Huyo kesi bado inaendelea, hata sasa hivi tunazungumza naye kesi bado inaendelea. So ikabidi sasa hakuna mwingine atakuwa senior pastor. That was on November 2022. So it was me. Nikaambiwa na chaplain, ile kazi nyuri kata utaki kuwa senior pastor, when I wanted to make you, now you have to work because you have worked with this pastor and he is going, now you have to work. So I said it's okay. I began working. Nikaanza kufanyia Mungu kazi. I preached the gospel there, and up to the time I was released on 2023, I was still working as a senior pastor inside the prison.
Wow, wow.
And what I can say is that it made me to gain respect because they were seeing me as somebody who is different. They were, Pastor, what tumeona, you are young, but the way you are making the church grow, the way you are preaching, even police officers were coming for the service every Sunday morning. Even the officer in church himself, although currently has been transferred, he was coming.
Na kukuwa senior pastor ilikuwa na privileges ama wafungwa ni wafungwa?
Wafungwa ni wafungwa tu. But the privilege is that now you are free.
Okay.
You can work, you are like a prison trustee.
Okay.
Yeah, so unaaminiwa kwa sababu I can move out to the officer in church's place, tuongee naye, nirudi. You can move to different offices and pray for the officers.
Okay.
But you are still
wakati wa kuhesabiwa huko hapo.
Huko hapo tu lazima uhesabiwe wewe bado.
Uji huko hapo, hakuna special diet.
Hakuna special diet. Chakula ni ile ile tu.
Pale wanalala ndo unalala, seli yako ndo unalala. Lakini wafungwa wengine wanakupatia heshima. Kama
wanakupatia heshima, hata maaskari wanakupatia heshima. Huyu ni mtumishi wa Mungu anawaombea.
Na wakiwa na shida pia wanakuja kwako.
Wanakuja kwako for.
Hata wale sugu.
Wanakuja. Wanakuja. Kwanza hao ndio wanakuja sana mpaka wale wezi sugu. I was friends with wezi mpaka sasa wako kamiti. And I do go and visit them.
Wow.
Yeah, they call me through the welfare phone. Naambia mchungaji kuja utuombee. Teremka huku kamiti. I've gone to kamiti several times. And I went to Nairobi prison headquarters. I requested for a permit to work in prisons.
Kwa hivyo hata mtu akuwe sugu aje bado ndani tu kuna utu.
Ndani kuna utu, kuna utu. Currently I can't say there is too much punishment in prison. Kuna utu, ni mahali umewekwa umenyima uhuru.
Okay.
Lakini kuna utu.
Okay.
People are, because of the church has come to prison. Now people are moving freely. People are freed, ni kama umetolewa ile uhuru yako ya kusonga kila mahali. Lakini kule umekaa, you are still free, you can do your own things, you can study. Like mimi nilisoma, that bag of mine ilikuwa na certificate. I have around 13 certificates.
Wow.
If it is good I display them through the camera, I can be able to display them. 13 certificates. Ya nini? Theology. All theological.
Zote ulizifanya kwa?
Nilizifanya nikiwa prison.
Sasa umeachiliwa.
Sasa nimeachiliwa.
Umekuwa declared free.
Nimekuwa declared free.
Kampuni imepoteza.
Kampuni imepoteza. People told me nenda shtaki kampuni. But God told me no. You know, some things you have to ask God. But niliachana na mawazo ya Mungu nikataka kutumia yangu.
Hawakukulipa, hawakukuitia kazi tena.
Nilienda wakaniambia wewe hata wenye mlishtakiwa nao wale wote wenye walikuwa wametoa testimony kulingana na vile kesi ilienda walikuwa management. Niambia kampuni ishakuwa reshuffled, you reapply. Nikasema siwezi reapply na Mungu ameniita kwa huduma. So wacha niachane nayo. I was convinced in my mind to go ni washtaki. Nikatafuta wakili. I have no money. Wakili akanitisha 100,000. Nikaenda kwa mwingine akanitisha 50,000. Sina pesa. Ndio natafuta vile nakaa ni roketi nirudisha familia yangu Nairobi, watoto wangu waenda shule. Alafu ninaitishwa pesa ya kufanya kesi. Nikaachana nayo. Maybe it was God making things difficult. Nikakuja nikapata rafiki yangu mwingine ananiambia niko na wakili anaweza kufanyia kesi bure ukilipwa mgawane na yeye. Tukaenda kwake, Huyo wakili akaenda akanitisha documents nikampea, kupeleka kesi mahakamani. Akawa mgonjwa na akafa. So nikaambia Mungu, why? Huyu ndiye alikuwa anifanyia kesi bure. God was still telling me, stop going to the court. I took you out of the court. Go and preach the gospel. So nikaanza kuhubiri. That's when I was helped by one bishop called Bishop Marube Nyabuto. Akanisaidia kuniandikia barua, nikapeleka prison headquarters. Nikapewa permit ya kufanya kazi in prisons.
Na huko nje baada ya kutoka watu walikupokea vizuri?
Huko nilipokelewa na huyo mchungaji.
Okay.
Wengine walikuwa wananikataa, hata wengine wanasema even my relatives wengine wanasema huyu ni mtu mbaya huyu sasa, because they knew me as a pastor. And now baada ya kusikia nimeingia jela, we will never again, huyu mtu hatuwezi muamini. Na
hii lori ilibiwa, ishaipatikana?
Lori ilipatikana, mizigo ndio ikupatikana.
Ilipatikana wapi?
Lori ilipatikana Lunga Road, within the mahali niliwekwa tu. Lunga Road.
Kwa hivyo hii ilikuwa tu njama imepangwa?
Ilikuwa ni njama imepangwa na kampuni, lakini mimi nilisema it's okay.
Na kitu kama hiyo, vitu kama hizo zimekuwa zikitendeka?
Zimekuwa
mizigo inapotea.
Ni vitu ziko. Ni hata baada ya kuwa ndani kuna wengine waliletwa with the same case. Wakalipiwa bond, wao familia yao ilikuwa able, I don't know kama walifanya ndio wakapata pesa wakalipa cash bill na wakatoka, I don't know. But kuna wengine waliletwa around 4 of them wenye ninajua. Na wakatoka wakaniacha bado nikiendelea na huduma.
Wow.
So after that ndio nimeanza kufanya kazi ya huduma. I moved to different places. Mchungaji yote mwenye anataka kuniita ni hubiri kwake. I'm an evangelist.
Okay.
I move everywhere, preach, give my testimony, and I've seen God working in me in several ways.
Kwa sasa hizo uko Kayole sasa?
Sasa niko Kayole.
Jamii walirudi?
Familia yangu imerudi Kayole. My wife is a teacher, she is teaching. By the yeye ndiye ananilisha. Mimi bado sijapata kazi.
Okay. Kwa kulala, kuamka, ni kuhubiri ni Yesu.
Ni kuhubiri Yesu kila mahali ninaenda. Hata nikiwa hivi leo ninataka kuenda headquarters, nipange vile ninaenda Kamiti prisons kuhubiri on Sunday.
Hii Sunday inakuja. Wow.
Kama nitapewa hiyo nafasi. Kwa sababu nikipata kuna wengine wame-apply nitapewa next date.
Okay. Maybe the final thing ungetaka kuambia mtu wote ambaye anakutazama leo?
The final thing nawaambia kwamba mtu akienda gerezani, si kwamba huyo mtu ni criminal. Yes, kuna criminal na kuna criminal wana change na wanabadilika wanakuwa wachungaji. I have several examples. Some of them have been acquitted. Na ni wachungaji. Receive them. Kwa sababu ukimwacha huyu mtu atarudi pale. So nikipata watu ambao wana receive watu wa kutoka prison, niko na wachungaji wengi sana ambao walikuwa wananiamini, wanaweza fanya kazi. So receive, msiwatenge wale watu ambao wametoka prison. Ni watu wa maana sana na wanaweza badilisha society.
Umesema mtu akutafuta wapi? Majina ni nani uko kwa mtandao, Facebook wapi?
Facebook ukiandika Dominic Bogonko the Evangelist. Dominic Bogonko the Evangelist. Utaniona hapo. Picha yangu iko pale, mimi huyu ndio utaona pale.
Dominic Bogonko the Evangelist.
Yes, the Evangelist.
Namba ya simu?
Namba ya simu ni 0795 900 751.
0795 900 751.
Yes.
Asante sana kwa kuja, asante sana kwa ushuhuda. Najua kuna moyo wa mtu ambao umemtia moyo. Sana hata kuna watu ambao wametoka jela na hawajapokelewa. Na tunaamini ya kwamba Mungu atakurejesha na hii kazi itaendelea.
Amen.
Mungu akubariki sana.
Asante, nashukuru sana.
Asante sana.
Nashukuru sana.
Wow, thank you very much. That's an amazing testimony, a story of restoration. And what I like about this story is that the one we are hosting today, still in that place of settling and being established, which is a story of hope and resilience. So we want to say thank you. Mungu akubariki sana. See you at the crossroad. Welcome back and thank you very much. I know that the testimony has been an amazing story. You know, the Bible says, I met a man and he told me something that was very powerful. He was at the verge of committing suicide. But as he was going home, he realized that that day, Rat walikuwa wamepandisha bei. So he couldn't afford it, but he had made up his mind he's going to commit suicide. And he realized he can't even afford poison. That's how bad his economy was. And when he was standing outside the shop, there was an evangelist preaching the gospel. And he just stood there desperate. And the man of God said, a dead dog is a living dog is better than a dead dog. And he continued and said that, you know, there is hope for a tree that has been cut. As long as the roots have not been uprooted, that tree can always grow back again. And I know sometimes I'll still say the same words. A living dog is better than a dead dog. And as long as the tree is cut, it can always grow back. The problem is when you uproot the tree from the soil, there is no hope for that tree. No matter the situation in life, the battles, the circumstances, don't uproot yourself. Just stay in that environment, and soon you'll begin to sprout, and soon you'll begin to grow. Pastor Tim Mwangi is my name. That's the Crossroads segment. And I want to say God bless you. Thank you to the guys behind the camera, the directors, and everybody. Mungu abariki sana. Till next Saturday. See you then.